Today I'm going to take something that should be simple and make it more complicated, all in the name of technology. So I recently posted a couple of pictures of my shop notes online, and someone made a suggestion that I look at a company called Rocketbook. Well, I took a look, and they make reusable notebooks. It makes it pretty easy to scan that image and get it into a cloud service, and I thought it was kind of neat, but I kind of already have that functionality with my phone now. I just use the Dropbox app and I could scan a page and have it in the cloud. But the more I looked at the product, I thought, you know what, there's some merit here, and I actually bought both of the Rocketbook products that they have. I'll show you those in a second, but I do want to make sure you understand this is not a paid advertisement. I don't have a relationship with Rocketbook. The only way I make money off of this is like any other video I make. If you watch the video, or if you buy the Rocketbook products using the affiliate links that I provide in the description, then I make a couple of pennies from each purchase. All right, so let me show you the details, because I think this is pretty cool. This is the Rocketbook Wave. It's about $27 on Amazon, and this is the Rocketbook Everlast, which is $34. So with the Wave, you basically have to use these Pilot friction pens, which are available pretty much anywhere. You draw whatever you need to draw, and then once that's done, you could scan the page into the cloud services. But I think the more interesting thing here is how you reuse this notebook. So once the notebook is completely full, you actually put this thing in the microwave, put a coffee cup with some water on it, and you microwave it until the white dot here turns white. And that actually erases everything in this book. And you could do that, I believe, up to 5 times. So this does have a limited lifespan. So it's cool, but I actually think the Everlast is better. The Everlast, instead of microwaving, you actually just use a damp rag, and the material on the page here, you could feel it is a different material, but it still writes pretty well. You know, I don't have any problems writing on that surface. Once I want to erase everything here, I just get a damp rag, and I can wipe it all away. And also, you can erase with the friction pen. This is not a product of Rocketbook. This is just the Pilot friction pen's ability to erase, just like a traditional pencil and paper kind of setup. So you have 2 ways to erase it, but if you're doing it all in one shot with a damp rag, it's very easy. And as I understand it, this is infinitely reusable because you're just wiping away the ink, and now you're back to that nice, clean surface. Now here's where things get really cool. If you look down at the bottom, we have a bunch of different symbols here. Each one of those you could set up in the Rocketbook app to correspond to an online cloud location, or even just a specific folder within a similar application like Dropbox. So for this one, I've actually got this going directly to a folder in my Dropbox account that's labeled Shop Scans. So I just draw an X over that, and then when I scan this page, because that's the one that's marked off, it's actually going to send this file directly to that specific Dropbox folder. And just like that, the scan is now available anywhere I have access to that particular app. So of course, if you're considering something like this, there are some competing technologies and different ways of doing things that you might be considering. So here's a quick rundown and some of the thought process I had and why I ultimately went toward the Rocketbook. The first one we already mentioned, and of course that's just taking traditional notes on regular notebooks and then scanning whatever you want into whatever cloud service you happen to use. Now that works fine, but ultimately, I don't know about you guys, but I've got a lot of different notebooks sitting around the shop, and half the time I have partial notes in one, partial notes in the other. It's kind of hard for me to keep everything straight. At least this way, I've got everything in one notebook. I don't have to buy extra notebooks in the future, at least theoretically. This is indefinitely usable, and I know that everything's going right up into the cloud as soon as I scan it. The other thing with traditional notes, I don't really think about scanning this stuff. It's just not part of my workflow. What I like about having a very specific notebook is it's kind of a reminder to say, hey, you took some notes, go ahead and just get your phone, open the app and scan it. It's just a different sort of disruption to my traditional workflow and allows me to remember that I should be scanning these things as I go. Another alternative is a tablet. A lot of times you can get a pen that allows you to write and take notes, and of course these things are already connected, so everything should just go very easily into whatever cloud service you want. But the problem is, I don't want one of these in the shop. I feel bad enough just having my phone in here. I certainly don't want my iPad rolling around the shop with the risk of dropping something on it. A traditional notebook, and of course these Rocketbooks, are flexible. You could drop things on them, you could step on them, it's not going to break. Another alternative that I don't actually have here to show you is an electronic pen like a Live Scribe. Basically, it's a really fancy pen with a camera in it that tracks its location on a piece of paper, but you have to use specialty paper for it that is not reusable, and that paper allows it to track exactly where it is and point by point send that information to your device. So it's really cool technology, but now I'm going to have a really expensive pen and a very specific type of paper that I'm going to need to use to be able to get my notes taken, and I don't want to have to worry about recharging the pen or losing the pen. At least with the Rocketbook stuff, yeah, I'm using a special pen, but it's a Pilot pen that I could buy anywhere, and for about 10 bucks I can get a pack and have tons of these sitting around the shop. So for me, the way to go is this Rocketbook Everlast. Now, of course, the real test is, let's talk in 6 months. Am I still using the system? Well, I can't predict the future, but right now, this seems like a really cool way for me to keep track of every note that I take in the shop and get it into the cloud pretty easily. All right, so once again, not an advertisement, but if it's something you're interested in, I do appreciate it if you use the affiliate links that I provide in the description, and that kicks a few bucks our way. So thanks for watching, everyone, and here's to overcomplicating the simple stuff.